Hello everyone, how we doing? Beast Dragon, how you doing guys? Welcome in, welcome in. How we doing? How was your guys' day today? Sorry, just drinking some water. Hope you guys are doing good. Hope we're doing good. I am gonna go ahead, I'm not gonna blabber on for too long. Mic quality, what do you mean? Is it bad or is it good? Is it bad or is it good? Because I didn't do anything to it. Wait, did I do something? Do I actually sound that bad? Hang on a second. Hang on just a second. Oh my god. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the deal is. Oh my god, hang on. Okay, is that better? Is that any better? Please tell me it's better. Please tell me that's better. Would that be really unfortunate if it wasn't? That would be very unfortunate if it wasn't. Way better. Okay, I don't even know what I did. I think I just tweaked it. Okay, alright. So, tonight, we're playing Tiny Bunny. Let me go ahead and load this up. Oh, hello. Okay. Oh, hello. Why am I getting a bunch of trophies? This is weird. Okay. I'm getting trophies. What? I just started the game. I just started the game. Why is it... Hang on. Okay. So... It's already being a little weird. Why? I'm getting so many, like, trophy notifications on Steam. This is so weird. Okay. Can this not be in... Okay, there we go. Okay, music. How does that sound for music, guys? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So, it appears... We're good. I think we're good. If the music's too loud, let me know. Otherwise, we'll get going. So yeah, this is Tiny Bunny. This is a horror game, or a horror visual novel, I guess. It came out a little bit ago. I don't actually remember when this came out. I feel like it was at least a few years ago. It's like the Deadpool game. Oh god. Alright, word. Okay. Let's go. New game. I can already tell this is gonna be fun. If that's what you want to call it. Oh, hello. The wind clawed at my window all night long. We wandered the fields and howled like a hungry beast. An endless song weaved from all sorts of voices, shrill, gentle, sneery, twined in the air. They were shouting and laughing, and arguing about something. Someone was running through the snow while casting long shadows that would occasionally creep close to my bed. Our house had a mind of its own, the creaky old mind of a building that had seen a lot in its days and was seemingly trying to share its wisdom with the inhabitants. The lonely house faced the forest, and the dark green thicket gazed back with its hollow eyes, rustling, whizzing, swaying back and forth. One could come out and stand at the edge of the forest to reassure themselves there was nobody behind the crooked trees. Fuzzy silhouettes swaying in the wind couldn't possibly do any harm. It's just a play of light and shadow. Just a play. I knew it was just my imagination. I was already 12 after all. Still. Oh, hi! Hello! Episode 1, The Owl Will Arrive. Okay. Oh, this music is nice. I'm sure it won't stay that way for long. Oh my gosh. Hey, put away your book. How many times have I told you not to read at the table? It's bad for your health. Look at how slouched you are. Oh, read at the table. Eat at the table. I hope that's what you're doing. Hide. Oh. Do I have a choice? Do I have a choice? Can I eat? Are there other choices? Do I have other... Oh, Jesus. Do I have other... Please? Hello? Do I have other choices, or is that it? Okay. I didn't protest and put the book about Conan the Barbarian aside. Base choice. Hi, Ty. How you doing? I was stuck on a line I couldn't understand after reading it 3 times anyway. Olya had already finished her breakfast and was munching on some cookies. She was so enthusiastic she almost looked like your typical girl from commercials. It's kind of soft, but it's there. Bet. I'll turn it up a little bit. Olya had already... Oh, I already read that one. You're not going anywhere until you finish all of it. She looks very pretty. This art style is gorgeous. Head hurting a little bit, other than that, pretty good. Oh, I'm sorry. Drink lots of water. I, on the other hand, was still trying to drill a hole in the plate with my eyes, as if it would make the porridge disappear. Hazy anxiousness welled up inside, all because of the previous sleepless night, the black forest around our house, and the gloomy wind. The longer I waited, the colder the lumpy white substance became. It looked like a jellyfish from the Cousteau Odyssey? Sorry if I butchered that. I love that show. I wonder how horrifying the bottom of the ocean is. Do not get me started on that. I hate the ocean. Or how cold the Black Forest is at night. I hate forests too. This is gonna be fun. And not in a good way, because I'm terrified of when he said oceans, I'm terrified of the ocean. I will never go swimming. I refuse. The only time I'll ever go out on the open ocean or a lake or any sort of body water is if I'm on a boat. That's the only time. Forests too. I watched Pet Sematary when I was younger, and I now hate forests. So this is gonna be fun. I am in for it tonight. The spoon fell out of my hand. Mom showered me with a cold glare from her green eyes. What did I just say? I'll get it. I had 10 seconds to catch my breath before battling the nasty porridge once again. I felt around for the spoon. What is this carved on the other side of the table? Karina. Live in the middle of the woods? Oh, dude. Well, growing up, my house was in the middle of the woods, and it was terrifying. Oh, that's your mom's name. I guess she carved it out with something pointy when she was little. She sure was a rascal, damaging the furniture like that. She would scold me for a week if I did something similar, though. Should I remind her about it? No, she's been in a little bit of a bad mood lately. I imagined her being my age, sitting under this table. I wonder, was Mom afraid of the dark back then? Don't like Subnautica or any other place a stereotypical white person would go. Real. Were the sounds coming from the attic? Or the thick forest? You're putting too many pictures in my head there, man. I imagine my grandma coming into my little mom's room, sitting at the edge of her bed where Olya sleeps nowadays, and saying this in her soft, smooth voice. Taiga is a special place, little girl. It's watching you closely, sniffing you out, trying to discern what kind of beast you are. If you're a good sort, it won't abandon you in times of trouble. But if you're a bad apple, it'll grab you by the side and drag you under the ground. Oh, Jesus. Okay. And that would be it. Grandma was caring. She never fought with anybody, never yelled, never swore. Those were the times without the maddening screams until... What? I'm sorry. Those were the times without the maddening screams until late at night. Without smashed dishes and mutual act... Oh, wait a minute. Oh. Our parents used to love each other back. Jesus. I'm a white dude and I crave the ocean? Oh my god. I love swimming. I hate it. Our parents used to love each other back then. That's so sad. So did mine. I remember listening in on one of their conversations by chance. They're talking about Grandma getting prepared for her funeral. She had already bought a casket. She called it her cute funeral box. It waited for its time in the closet patiently. It was black, upholstered with meat-colored material on the inside. I saw it when my grandma was getting buried. Oh. The house didn't change since the time she was alive. Only all of the photos were gone. Glass-covered pictures with gray faces of my ancestors. They all had a dead but watchful look in their eyes. I crawled out from under the table. Olya was done with her cookies and was looking at my share like a sly woodland critter. I turned my gaze toward the frosted window. There are a lot of dark pines outside, but they didn't grab my attention. The pattern of frost formed a picture on the glass. It's the fox. Olya, look, it's a fox. Where? It looked almost like those optical illusion thingies they put on the back of student notebooks. A mixture of lines at first glance, but if you blur your vision a little bit and look under a certain angle. Not outside, on the window. Look, there's the nose, and there's... Hey, eat up. Yeah, eat up. Yes, just a moment. You're a little brat. I don't see anything. Hurry up, there's not much left. There it is, but it still doesn't look like one. I'm telling you it does. Nuh-uh, it does. Stop it, these kids, I swear. Now I couldn't see the fox either. Disappeared. Went away. Only the frosty patterns, similar to stretched out nettle leaves, kept creeping up the glass. My dad entered the kitchen with long measured steps. He looks like a Giga Chad. He looks like the friggin' Giga Chad. He looks like the Giga Chad. Does he enter the kitchen with "Can You Feel My Heart" blaring in the background? When I was a baby, we lived in the ocean, and we lived on the ocean, and somehow it would end up by the beach playing in the sand or water. I learned about it when we went to another island where we used to live. Huh. My dad entered the kitchen with long measured steps. I want to have a beard like his when I grow up, and a jawline too. Holy shit. Mom would always ask jokingly, "Come on, shave it off, it stings." This was so long ago. Sorry, Daddy, I know, right? Nowadays, rumbling doors and witty comebacks are an everyday occurrence. Olya always covers her ears whenever she hears something like, "What's the point in all this?" through the wall. "It's all for your sake," Dad would reply, "for the sake of our family." I always caught every sound in fear of hearing the most dreaded, the deadliest word that started with the D. Divorce? Yeah. I don't even want to finish it. I don't blame you, bud. It was scary to imagine that me and my little sister could be torn apart and taken in 2 different families. Anyway, your fox is nothing. I have an owl on my window. You and your owl talk again. You said you believed me just yesterday. Has anyone seen my car keys? I remember leaving them on the windowsill. Right. Maybe you did, and maybe you didn't. You're a grown man, a father of 2, and still... Karina, please stop. Just let me get ready in peace. Aww. Our keys are in the basket near the phone. Well, thank you very much. Anton, stop making a martyr of yourself and finish eating already. But the owl... There was no owl. But there was one. It had giant glowing eyes. Olya sprung up from the chair and placed her hands on her little face, imitating a pair of eyes with her fingers the size of an apple each. Last year you had... Bye-bye? In your closet, and now that... Ooh, glossary? Whoa! In Slavic folklore, a nocturnal spirit used by parents to threaten their ill-behaving children. Okay. That's cool! But I saw it. Thought it was... Oh my god. Olya shifted her gaze back and forth from Dad to Mom to me, but couldn't find any support. Have you thought about befriending it? You know, like feeding it with imaginary mice? Don't bully our girl. She's just afraid to sleep alone because she's still little. Olya pouted her lips in rebellion and rushed into the hallway. The staircase that led to the second floor creaked. Oh, she's mad now. Oh, that look in her eyes. It's so uncomfortable to be pinned under it. Valid. Hey, Warlock, how you doing? Dad just snorted in reply and left, ringing with the keys he just found. A minute had passed, and the theme song from The Little Mermaid echoed through the house. It was stored on incredibly worn-out cassette tape, which Dad had already had to glue together once. It's so easy to fix objects by gluing them back together. How do you fix a relationship? Yep. That's a tough one. That is a tough one. That is definitely a tough one. Mom moved to the living room and was left alone, anxiously stealing glances at the window. Olya had trouble sleeping ever since we moved to this house. She would toss and turn or curl up into a ball under her blanket. Sometimes she would jump up in the middle of the night and turn on the VCR. Oh, the music's getting weird. Cartoons helped to take her mind off of all the troubles we had with the move and our parents. With good, honest communication. For real. Oh god! Hi! What the fuck? Whoa. Jeez, okay. And then Olya said she saw that giant flying monster outside her window. She became obsessed with it. Our parents did everything in their power. They tried every little trick to get rid of those ridiculous fears. Olya refused to sleep alone and didn't believe that the owl was just one of her nightmares. After last night, I was unsure what to make of my sister's words, what to think of it myself. Can nightmares be infectious? I hope not. I really hope not. I really hope not. That night I couldn't get a wink of sleep and ended up thinking of what to expect from my new school. There were a couple of days left before the beginning of a new term. My imagination drew long, twisted hallways that led to classrooms full of kids, but all the students behind their desks were simply dark figures, cut out using a template. Circular holes gaped in the middle of their faces, and pairs of eyes blinked inside those holes. It was as if some completely different creatures were looking at me from behind the flat black silhouettes. Their cruel glares, filled with icy sneers, made me shiver from head to toe. Will I survive here? Won't they gang up on me and beat me down, stomp on me with their bloodied shoe? Jesus Christ. Damn school can burn for all I care. I just wished for anything to happen to it. Doesn't really matter what. I didn't want to go there that badly. I didn't want to see people who were just itching to smack me on the head, trip me up, think of a new offensive name for me worse than the previous one. I felt like the glasses I wore made me an outsider or some sort of a monster. My gaze slid across the drawings hanging on my walls. I couldn't consider myself a great artist, but Olya begged me to hang them. Drawing was the only thing that made me happy as of late. Aww, buddy. The small circle of friends I had also enjoyed my paintings, and they promised to call me from time to time. Sometimes I imagined Mom picking up the phone and saying in a cold voice, "You've got the wrong number." Damn. Or Anton is not around. Anton is not around. I imagine my future classmates lying in their beds just like me, listening to the howls of invisible werewolves outside their windows. Maybe my new classmates will like me after all. But who would ever like a boy with thick glasses? Aw, buddy. I mean, my dad used to wear glasses when he was little, and now he's married to the most beautiful woman on the planet, my mom. The house creaked, pressed by the wind. Oh, that was well timed. The condo we used to live in, a 9-floor concrete building, buzzed with the neighbor's drill, mumbled with a TV set from behind the wall, cried like a baby from the big family next door. Our current house, though I can't call it new, is completely different. What's up, Mr. God Emperor of Mankind? How you doing? It was silent and easy going through the day. Its shadows lay dormant in the corners or the closet cobwebs and under the stairs. They all woke up during the night. Something was watching me from every corner, almost as if the old photos of my deceased family with their ashen eyes were, oh God, were hanging up on the walls in place of my drawings. The floor was squeaking, rusty drains were moaning, and the attic was occupied by noisy What is that? One could think the house was performing some sort of demonic melody. And then I realized I was in fact hearing music. It was already playing for a good while. Somewhere at the edge of my perception I could hear a flute. It was mixed in with the sound of the wind, of the creaking old house, and my thoughts too. I stood up and rushed to the window. I wanted to reassure myself that this music was nothing more than a product of my imagination. It's not like someone is playing it there amidst the cold snowy night, right? I guess I'll open it. Oh! Hi! If I learned anything from Pet Sematary, I don't like those things. Someone was dancing in the field. This music is nice, though. Someone was dancing in the field. Black silhouettes I could barely make out with the dark forest as their backdrop. They jumped around, basked in the moonlight, bumped into piles of snow, rolled around and crawled on all fours. Stories about wolves playing under the moon came to mind, but these were clearly not wolves. They stood upright at times, circled around holding hands and whipping up snow, disappearing into the shadows for a brief moment and then coming back. Something bizarre was going... Oh yeah! They're going to kill someone? Maybe. Something bizarre was going on. Shadows dancing in the starless abyss made my imagination go wild and making me anxious at the same time. Oh! Suddenly the music had stopped. Oh no. The dancing shadows froze in place, and I could swear pierced me with their eyes. One of the silhouettes immediately parted from the bizarre shadow carnival and sprinted across the field at giant leaps. Oh! Oh my god! Okay. It glided on squeaky snow without leaving any prints until it was devoured by the pitch-black shadow of my house, which became even darker and thicker. Jeez, yeah, they're probably gonna kill me. Holy shit. My heart was jumping around like the bird inside a cage. I shut the curtains with a swift motion and stepped back toward the bed. They saw me! Uh-oh. Oh no. A freezing torrent of fear washed over me. I stood in the middle of a perfectly dark room and listened to some unwanted guest move and scrape around, looking for an entrance. The sound moved to the right, then circled around the house. Now my guest should be at the front door. Okay. I don't like this anymore. I jumped into the bed and covered myself with a blanket as if it would protect me. The shackles of fear locked my muscles. I remember the funeral, my grandma lying there, hands crossed over her chest, her facial features sharp like that of a tin doll. Ants running up and down the legs of chairs that held my grandma's casket. I imagine those little creatures climbing up her head and pull... Oh, God. I'm in danger whether I admit it or not? Man. I imagine those little creatures climbing up her head and pulling up her eyelids with tiny legs. That's disturbing. And her wrinkly eyeballs would once again move inside their sockets and she'd be able to see her grandchildren. That's so creepy. I was chanting the spell she taught me through the whole procedure, and now lying under the blanket and listening to squeaks and howls, I was repeating the same words. On the island of Bouillon? Underneath the blemished sun, in the sea of color blue, stands a cabin made of wood. There lay lard and ashen hair, for the spawn from devil's lair, to feast and always leave alone God's faithful servant named Anton. Evil leave this house must, ashes to ashes, dust into dust. Huh. Bizarre sounds had disappeared. I cautiously peeked out from under the blanket and saw curtains waving around like a hanged man. And then the night doused me with a new portion of boiling horror. Oh no. Oh god. Those sounds scratched on my eardrums. In reality, something was scratching at the front door, hurriedly clawing at wood, demanding to be let in. The door was shut. Dad had become very cautious recently, so he installed a sturdy lock. I remember him staring at the forest intently as if he was looking for someone. Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I hugged my knees, placing my chin between them, and drilled the door with my eyes. It was so flimsy and weak before the might of darkness. Grabs a 12, right? Where's Doom Guy when you need him? And then... Oh! Oh no! No. Just do not go Jurassic Park on me. Do not do that. Do not go Jurassic Park on me. Then it turned halfway once, twice, as if the person who tried to enter had no hands. Jurassic Park. Don't do it. Please, God. I don't need velociraptors attacking me today. No. The doorknob tilted once more, and then started clicking violently. Okay. That's not good. Yeah, clever girl, right? Jesus Christ. Oh my god. Clicking violently, my jaw cramped from fear, my wet fingers clutched the blanket. Oh! The door creaked and opened. The wind taunted me, moaning inside the tin drains. Now you'll see. Oh, no. I can't tell if that's like a smudge on my computer screen or if that's like an eye there. What is that? The door was wide open. The darkness writhed inside the carnivorous mouth of a doorway. Too shy. It was as if the night itself was calling out to me, flapping its black wings and squeaking with rusty hinges. I was trembling and snared by the web of darkness that hung in the corners of my room, waiting for the one who weaved it to come out of the gaping black hole. Toonie. My abdomen tightened and my chest rose up, ready to exhale a desperate scream. Before I was able to do anything, the darkness asked me, "Are you asleep?" Oh! Okay. You asleep? I almost screamed in relief. Olya, I'm not sleeping. Did something happen? Olya frowned and stuck out her lower lip, a clear sign that she was about to cry. It's there again, staring at me. Well, you saw something run to the house, so maybe it actually is. Shoo her away, please. I'm so scared. The fear that was tormenting me just a minute ago crawled away and hid somewhere in my stomach. I needed to calm Olya down. It was just a dream, silly. Don't be scared. Dreams don't bite. No one's gonna harm you. Olya sobbed. Aww. She was trying her best to believe me. Was I sure myself? I have an idea. Let's go to your room and watch Sleeping... Yeah, let's watch Sleeping Beauty. You like that cartoon, don't you? Why does the Sleeping Beauty have a prince and I have this scary bird? Alright, let's watch Cinderella. My thoughts became tangled, fuzzy. What was that? What? What studied me with its eyes while dancing feverishly under the moon? The darkness was clinging to the window, and it couldn't be fooled by Grandma's old chants. It couldn't be satisfied with the feast of lard and long ashen hair. Tony, you coming? Just a moment. Oh my god! Jesus! Holy shit. Holy fuck. Whoa, the noise. Okay. Oh my god. Sounds like a fae from Slavic folklore. Jeez, that's why I didn't want to laugh at Olya and her owl in the morning. Oh, that was from the night before? Oh, no, that's just next morning. Holy crap, that scared the crap out of me. What the fuck? So that was a dream. Who could be visiting us here in the middle of nowhere? We don't know anyone around here. So persistent. I felt extremely unsettled just from a silly thought that our morning guests could have come from the woods. Oh god. I could barely hear voices coming from the front door. My mind was urging me to hide. My mind was urging me to hide. Hang on, let me check Twitch again. How we doing, Twitch? Just buffering a little bit. That was a good jump scare. I know, right? I was not expecting that. Holy crap. That was good. That was really good. My mind was urging me to hide. In the closet, under the table, behind the curtains where Olya always hides. Come here. I felt like kettlebells were tied to my feet, but still dragged them toward the hallway. Oh! A couple of policemen towered over me in the doorway. They smelled like frost and worry. My mom always winced and grumbled the moment she saw patrol cars. Worse than bandits. At the moment, though, she looked somewhat confused. Hello. The senior officer, who wore a grim expression, nodded. A boy had gone missing yesterday. His name's Vova. Look at this, please. Have you seen him? The policeman held out a photograph to me. Oh, aww. There was a ginger boy around the age of elementary school, pictured with a wall carpet as the backdrop. He had a striped cat in his hands and wore a wide smile. No, I haven't. Are you sure? Look closely. Where would I see him? I don't know anyone around here. I barely leave the house. Well, maybe you've seen him from the window. I've seen things from the window. Hey, Warlock. That's right. Your window looks straight into the forest, don't they? The window. Oh, yup. No, I haven't seen anything. I see. He sounded tired, but his eyes, his stare, long and heavy, was full of suspicion. I squirmed unwittingly under the weight of guilt which his giant shadow cast over me. The policeman finally tore his eyes from me and glanced over the hallway, the stairway, and the cracks in the ceiling which I haven't noticed before for some reason. Huh. How do you like a new place, by the way? Getting used to it? Bit by bit. It's just our little daughter misses the city a lot. Misses the city, huh? Have the locals been treating you well? Yes, everything's alright, thank you. The policeman pierced through me one more time with his brown eyes. My head started spinning. Can I help you somehow? I asked in a shaky voice to look like a polite boy and to end this unpleasant conversation sooner. Now that I think about it, you look just like one of my nephews, little fella. He's a witty boy around your age, wears the same type of goggles, always engrossed in reading, those mystery novels. Told me he wants to enroll in police school when his family visited this summer. Wanted to help other people just like me, see? I felt uncomfortable, as if a distant relative and not a police officer stood before me. You know what? Little boys like you should stay at home, steer away from trouble. The times have changed so much. Mom interjected in a cold voice. You don't say. Ah, well then. What grade are you in, Anton? 6th. Have you met any friends here so far? Not yet. I'll be going to school for the first time after the break. Ah, then I'll leave you my number just in case. Call me if you have any new information. Policemen were gone along with their shadows, the smell of cheap cologne and the photo of a smiling boy. His face still stood before my eyes. I wondered what it was like for him to being all alone there. For some reason I thought of the forest swaying in the wind. What did his poor parents feel? And what would my parents do if I'd gone missing? Would they cry and thrash around hysterically? Or would they accuse each other like they always do and forget about me eventually? Aww. Mom, this Vova, did he go missing in our forest? Seems like it. Poor child. I looked out the window at the road. The police UAZ drove... What's a UAZ? Soviet and Russian off-road freight passenger car brand, which was produced on the Ulyanovsk car factory. Huh. Okay. So this is like Soviet Russia. So this is like a while ago. The officer's nephew came to mind when I was splitting off old paint from the windowsill. I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series. Oh, another one. Series of contemporary Russian original or translated teen mystery books. Creepy Cobb, I know, right? I remembered all the teenage mystery novels from the Black Kitty series. Your average boys and girls investigated all sorts of mysteries there. They looked for clues, spied on suspicious people. After a set of amazing adventures, bam, solved any complicated case. Yeah. They became local celebrities and must have made their parents very proud. I noticed a trail of policemen's footprints that led to the forest, and then it clicked in my head. Why don't I start an investigation of my own? Oh, that's... Oh, God, no. Must be Russian folk. Yeah, there's something... I think this is based on, like, an old... Like, a short story, I think? I think this is based on, like, an old short story about, like, another, like, folk horror kind of, like... This is giving me very, This gives me, like, Pet Sematary, kind of, like, The Hills Have Eyes, like, Pet Sematary. There's one other thing that it kind of reminds me of, but I don't have the word for it right now. And I'll get a reward. Olya will be so happy. And not only Olya, Mom and Dad, too. Maybe they'll even forget about their quarrels for a while. Maybe I'll even save us from the D word. Whoa. I fantasized about buying Olya a Tamagotchi and getting a cassette player and a bunch of tapes for myself. And a whole box of Kinder Surprise. When was the last time our parents bought us any toys? Aww. Last autumn, I think. My dad had lost his job at the time. There's that annoying song about it. What song? A song by an all-female Soviet pop band by the name of Kombinatsiya. Combination. That became wildly popular in the early 90s. I had little to no idea what was the accountant's job like. They count money, I think? Neighbors used to envy us, but nowadays Mom and Dad barely have any money to afford sweets, and Dad would always divide a single chocolate bar between me and Olya. Aww. A child-killing semi-truck to really nail in the Pet Cemetery vibes? I don't know about that yet. I'll search for this kind of story in Russian folklore. Maybe I can find something similar. I mean, just look up the game and you'll be able to find what the story is that it's based off of. Sometimes I gave her my share, too. Aww. No matter how much I wanted to eat sweets, she was still just a pipsqueak. I couldn't wait to go out, looking for clues. I'm going outside. Yeah, right. You want the police to go around with your photograph next? The forest is so thick. What if the boy got snatched up by wild animals or something even worse? Even worse echoed through the hallway. I won't go far. I'll stay away from the forest. Did you hear what I said, or should I repeat myself? Better go back to your school bag or play with Olya. Better go pack your school bag or play with Olya. That's probably a good idea. Splashing water came from the kitchen. It meant that the argument was over and Mom had the last word. Oh, God. What is this? What do you do? Whoa! What? This cross had seen so many people come and go in this house. It was black, as if it had absorbed all human sin from the long years it was hanging under the ceiling. After Grandma died, Mom was going to take it off and hang a horseshoe in its place as a lucky charm, but she cut herself with the cross's sharp corner and almost fell from the stepladder. Dad called it a sign from above and ordered the cross to be left alone in its rightful place. Was there something else? Yeah, what's that? Mom's peg top, a family relic. My mom played with it when she was little, then she gifted it to me. Olya was next in the succession line. The toy belonged to her now. She stared at the dancing spindle as if it could show her something, a fairy tale or maybe even our future. Now even my little sister was a bit too old for the old squeaky peg top. There's something here, right? My parents prohibit me from making long-distance calls, but from time to time I really want to hear my old friends. Sometimes I would just pick up the phone, listen to the low hum of the zoomer and the distant crackling, imagining the wind howling in the ice-leaden chords. So it's based on the story by Dmitry Mordos. I'll search... Okay. Okay. What's in here? A dark, stuffy closet. Mom says it smells like mice, but how would she know their smell? She hates it when I stick my nose in there. She's afraid I'll cut myself on the freshly sharpened axe. What? Why are one of my toggles on? What? One of my toggles on? Okay, weird. Why is there a freshly sharpened axe in here? And Olya can't even be lured close to it. She thinks Bye-Bye is living there. I tried to help her fight her fears once. I opened the door and turned on a dim lamp so she would see there's nothing but cobwebs, Dad's tools, and scratched walls. She still didn't believe me. And I like to hide in the closet and listen to Olya count outside. 1, 2, 3, better hide from me. And then drag her feet on the creaking floorboards, hoping that she wouldn't need to look for me in the cramped monster's den. Okay. Oh. Oh. Emberclaw of Russia has declared the state of emergency due to adverse weather conditions. According to the weather forecast, a cyclone is moving towards the region. Expect heavy snowfall, blizzards, and snowdrifts on the road. Keep your eyes open and take care of yourself. So... Oh! Hi. Grandma kept ice cream for me and Olya there, but now I can only see meat bits for soup and clumped together pelmeni. I grew to hate them already. What's pelmeni? A Russian variety of dumplings made by boiling thin, unleavened dough filled with mincemeat. One may even call it Russian fast food. Okay. Lie to Mom? I don't want to lie to Mom. Something's wrong with the TV. The picture's dim and there are stripes all over the screen. Mom's face became visibly distorted. You're killing me. So have you had enough shooting those stupid ducks now? Told you the kinescope will go dim because of your console. Where will we find a TV technician in this hole, huh? Maybe it's just the settings? Please go see for yourself. Strange, it worked fine in the morning. Maybe the snowfall caused it. Mom rubbed her hands clean on her apron and went to Olya's room. Okay. I guess we're going outside. The axe could be for firewood. I'm guessing that's what that is. I opened the front gate and went to the field carefully so Mom wouldn't see me from the window. When I crossed half of the distance towards the forest, the snow piles became as high as my knees. I remembered my nightly fears. I saw those silhouettes all around here. They were jumping around, holding hands. The hypnotizing music started playing in my head all on its own. In the light of day, those distant figures felt like a simple dream. The sun turned my nightmares to ash, but the aftertaste was still there. Distant ringing in my ears, distorted shadows crawling on the snow beside me, and a barely audible whisper in my head, blurry and almost kind. Everything was silent. So silent I felt like the world was totally empty. No ground, no sky, no parents, no Olya. The time reached its limit. A one-way trip that ended at the forest's piney stockade. Sometimes silence was much scarier than any dream. Our parents would scream at each other while arguing, and both me and Olya turned to stone listening to them. But then always came the ringing silence. Our apartment became numb a couple days before we departed. It was hard to remember the last time Mom and Dad joked around, laughing, or spent time together, almost like all of it was in a previous life. When they kissed with Olya present, she always frowned and snorted in a funny way. But one day it all changed. Something important had left our home, and something scary filled the remaining void. It was as if a fire broke out and our parents were hurriedly packing their belongings, trying to save themselves and us. From who, though? From the people with dead cold eyes who sometimes visited us in our previous home? The eyes that only saw balls of worms on the black ground and everything? And somewhere far away a siren was going off, trying to warn us of a coming menace. I shuddered, chasing away my delusions, and looked around. There were only me, this white field, and the wind that was whipping up icy dust and belts of powdered snow. I squinted from the sun and turned my eyes to the sunless forest. It looked especially dark in contrast with the blinding whiteness. Knobby tree roots slithered up under the snow like fat snakes. Rotten leaves and coniferous needles froze into the ice. Oh, hi! Dry, prickly branches intertwined, bringing up uncomfortable thoughts about fences. Were they protecting the forest? Or were they keeping something from breaking out? Some object was hanging from one of the pointy branches. That's a mitten! Oh no. I tried to get closer, drowning in snow, and when I almost got to the edge of the forest, I saw a knitted mitten. It looked like a wounded bird among the hungering semi-dark. Should I take it to the police? Their senior officer looked gloomy, but he still reminded me of Captain Casanova from my favorite TV show called The Streets of Broken Lights. He was always so anxious with a tired look in his eyes, but still brave and strong. Will this mitten help them find the lost boy? Oh no. I heard a distant shout. It looked like it came from the river. As if the trees were calling out to someone. Resounded closer to me. Someone was standing there behind the trees, hiding. Oh god. I knew someone was looking for the lost boy, but still, something was unsettling about that figure. Its stillness, how it was bent unnaturally toward the ground. What? It's blackness. There's no one there, just branches and roots. It's all just my imagination. A nearby bird flapped its wings loudly. Oh god! That's okay. That's lovely. That is lovely. A shadow split from the tree and disappeared from my sight. I looked away for just a moment, but when I turned my gaze back to the same place, it was gone. So it was my imagination after all. Silence reigned for a painfully long time. Oh god. Okay. My muscles were tightly sprung, my heart was beating somewhere in my throat. Any noise, any little movement, any small whisper from the thicket, and I'd sprint. But nothing of the sort happened. I looked at the mitten once more. Ooh, okay, wait, can I save? I can! I'm gonna save here. Okay. I'm gonna try to take it, and if I die... Oh, yeah, I think that was a bad idea. I think that was a bad idea, chat. I think that was a very bad idea. I decided to take the lonely mitten from the branch. Oh god. Oh yeah, that was a bad idea. That was a bad idea. A shout rumbled across the field and dissolved into the distance. No echo, no hope for a reply. Oh, Jesus Christ. I stepped toward the bristly trees and tried to claim my find. I think I am about to get jumped. Didn't budge. What? Pulled harder, the branch cracked and the mitten tore off, landing in my hand with a squishy sound. All too heavy, wet. I squeezed it without thinking, and something dark spilled from it, forming a tiny string between the mitten and the snow. Steam rose from the snow pile. Oh no. Oh god. Oh Jesus. What the fuck? I froze in place, studying my palms in disgust. Red. The sound of cracking branches invading the silence. I didn't have to think twice before running away. Yep! Oh, I can hear the noises. Someone was chasing me from the darkness, breaking pine branches, closing the distance with giant leaps. Snow is slowing me down. Crazy thoughts flew through my mind. I'll get caught. They'll get me. I'll get dragged into the thicket. I'll be gone forever. There's one more voice, probably one of reason. It gave me strength, spurred me on. You can do it, don't stop. I heard an animal roar behind me. It was so loud, my ears went numb. I felt like the sound had come from a pack of hungry beasts rather than a single one. Their nostrils sucked in freezing air, they sensed my fear. Two giant wings flapped above my head, and oh god, I saw that. An enormous shadow flew over the clearing, a hoot, a wheeze. The roars were coming from all directions now, from the dried up raspberry bush, from twisted pines, from under the windfall. Hurry, run, don't look back. It felt like I was inside a nightmare. The snowy clearing became viscous like quicksand. I was stuck in place. Oh, I'm dead. Pulled my leg from the mushy trap just to be caught in a new one, even deeper than before. I continued to drown, sinking deeper and deeper with every desperate push. Was snow ever this sticky? I screamed in horror after realizing this wasn't snow. Someone or something in the snow pile was clutching my pants. I gathered my strength and rushed forward. Pressure in my leg was gone, my boot slipped out of the hole and my soles were on a hard surface again. I reached a clear path with one jump and from there ran to my house. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now. It was totally a hand-in-knife glove. Oh god. Its gloomy facade didn't look threatening now, and that house was my line of defense from the shadows that flapped their wings into creatures that were hidden under the snow. I tripped over the doorstep and smashed into the door. While my hurry still managed to notice the claw marks. Oh god. As if a dog was striking the wood with its paws, demanding to be let in so it could escape the cold. I hadn't noticed these marks when I was leaving. The heartbeat in my ears was much louder than my surroundings. I couldn't hear whether someone was following me or not. What if they were already in our front yard and Mom had locked the door? Drowning in fear, I pulled on the doorknob and it obediently gave way. Yeah, you better close that frickin' door. I rolled into the hallway and shut the door behind me. Porch planks creaked as my pursuers ascended the stairs. My fingers slipped off the lock and I couldn't click it into place. I gritted my teeth and pulled hard on the iron knob, whipping it between the boards. I stared blankly at the door. Someone was standing out on the other side of the pitiful, flimsy barrier that was probably less useful than blankets. A wheezing breath reached into the house and it crashed at me in waves. It smelled of pine and sweat. Mom peeked out of the kitchen and chastised me with the same frigid voice she always used when talking to Dad. What exactly didn't you understand when I told you to never slam the door? I didn't mean to. I stuck a glance at the door. The smell was gone and the breath was too. If there was someone in the first place, of course. Here, a mere 5 meters away from Mom, my fear was slowly weakening, melting like snow in spring, and with it the last bit of strength I had left my body too. My legs gave way. I propped myself up against the wall so I wouldn't fall over. Hi, Mom. Mom's expression had changed immediately. Aww. Aww. Mom looked at me the same before all those corals. She finally saw my condition, my wet pants plastered with snow. Where have you been? What did I tell you? I told you to stay home. Am I nothing to you? Aww. What? I got afraid she would cry. I reached out to her like when I was very little and wanted her to cuddle me. But Mom regained her composure fast and put on her usual face. Okay. Her eyes shined like steel. Her voice rang out. Your dad can't find his cigarettes. Oh. What a problem. Be honest, did you snatch them? Were you smoking in secret? There was someone chasing me, I thought. I stuttered as soon as I started explaining myself. Tears welled up in my eyes. Mom leaned toward me and sniffed my clothes like a beast, searching for the smell of tobacco. She squinted her eyes in suspicion and looked into the front yard. Her expression changed in an instant and she covered her mouth with her hand. Look over there at the fence! My heart started thumping as if I became prey once again and my pursuers were following me in the field. I could swear that I've heard something scratch at the door, just like in my nightmare. Mom beckoned me with her finger and I gathered all my remaining bravery to look into the kitchen window facing my fear. I could barely discern some hairy silhouettes swimming in the snow through the icy winter patterns on the glass. Dogs! What a dog doing? Russian folklore back in 2014. Okay. Dogs. Just a small pack of strays with no name and no owner, barely reminding of the hungry monsters that live on the edge of the forest. Oh boy, were you scared of them? I think they'd rather be scared of you, Anton. They were chasing me like a bunny. What if they're rabid? A smile had slowly disappeared from Mom's face. Now she looked at the dogs as if it was her first time seeing them. What if they attack Olya? I wish your dad could just shoot them all. Jesus Christ. Mom, look, they're alive. Are they your friend or foe after all? Make up your mind. You're not a little kid anymore. Mom sighed in annoyance, and I felt so bitter that I bit my lower lip and fixed my gaze on the cobweb-ridden corner just to keep myself from crying. Well, some detective I am. Damn right. In reality, I wasn't risking my life among monsters, but rather my pants among a pack of stupid strays. What use do I have for this mitten? Of course! A dark and sticky mitten that belonged to the lost boy made a squishy sound in my hand. Seems like I was clutching it the whole time. That's my trump card as a detective! I hurried to present this clue to my mom. Oh! Oh, God. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. The boy the police were asking for about in the morning. It's drenched in blood. I found it hanging in a tree. I can show where. Let's call the police right away, like the officer had told us to. Mom, look. Ew. Shadow of doubt slowly crept onto Mom's contorted face, as if she was trying to remember something distant, like someone tries to remember their dream, but the image slips away. Stop at this moment. Oya will go insane if she hears you. She already has trouble sleeping and whines all the time. You joke around like this? Oh! The mitten was actually wet from snow! Okay. There was no blood whatsoever. I wanted to sink through the floor from embarrassment. Come here, my boy, who cried wolf. Uh-oh. Don't just stand there. Come take your pills. Oh. A golden-colored pill reminiscent of a dead wasp fell onto my palm. I already took one during breakfast. Don't talk over me. I told you to stay home. Dad would have given you a good whipping for that. Come on, take her. You won't be able to sleep at night. You'll have school tomorrow. So I had to swallow the bitter medication, drinking it down with similarly awful water that gave off a taste of chlorine. Maybe it wasn't Vopa's mitten. Maybe it wasn't a mitten at all. Just like the forest monsters. And Olya's owl. Am I going mad? Uh-oh. What's happening? Well, I have a yawn too, Jesus. Either the pill had an immediate effect or my overexerted brain didn't let fear inside anymore. Serenity washed over me, bringing yawny indifference along with it. Anton, you're done? See, you can do it when you try. Take off your coat. Are you asleep? Oh, Mom, I was just thinking. Just something silly. Mom scrutinized me with suspicious eyes. As if she wasn't sure she was looking at her own son and not some doppelganger that came from the forest. Is everything alright? With the exact same expression when the policeman asked you about the window. I'm alright, Mom. She heaved a heavy sigh. There was totally a hand in there. Where's the transmutation wizard? I don't fucking know. The transmutation wizard. Fine. It seemed like the house had changed. The sofa. Oh my God. I'm so sorry, I'm yawning. The sofa's fabric had become discolored. Fingerprints appeared on the bathroom tiles. The light bulbs also felt different, dimmer and yellower. Even the saliva inside my mouth had a different taste. A melody from Aladdin could be heard from the upper floor. Olya was done rewatching her favorite Little Mermaid episodes and switched over to other tapes. I slowly changed into my home clothes, stopped before the sink, and studied my reflection in the mirror like I was trying to solve one of those spot the difference puzzles. Then I went upstairs. Jafar and Iago's voices died down. I walked past Olya's bedroom and slipped into my own. Yes, sorry. Oh, okay. Sometimes I still catch myself looking in the window at the icy treetops instead of doing my homework. I've dreamt of becoming an artist since Dad bought me my first comic book. Fly magazine was the coolest. I especially liked the big space-related edition with alien monsters and that funny episode about a what? Gendarme? What is that? I don't know what that is. I started drawing all kinds of stuff since that day, and I seem to be getting pretty good at it. One of my letters even got published in Fly once. Maybe someday they'll even publish my comic. Hell yeah. Awesome. My Triceratops figurine. Hell yeah. I know about all sorts of dinosaurs. Velociraptors, Afrovenators, Hypsilophodonts. I remember going to the movies to see Jurassic Park when we still lived in the city and taking pictures with the T-Rex in the hall. It turned its head and roared. It was awesome. And next to it was a Robotech transformer. I love this cartoon. When a jet fighter speeds up in the intro among the sounds of blaster fire, you know your next 20 minutes will surely be amazing. Zentradi space station is captured. Rick, get ready for battle. That's so nice. Oh, there's a picture. I think that's a picture of his family right there. I remember. Oh, hi! I just realized you were right there. Hi, Olya. Hi, I see you. One of the drawers was empty. I hid the mitten there. This simple action drained the last bit of strength from me. I sat on the bed. And only then I noticed there was someone behind the curtains. My tired hand dropped to the sheets. Whether it was due to medication I took or the stress I underwent, the room began to contort as if the wind was blowing the walls out like a pair of sails. I remember he mentioned that Olya liked to hide behind curtains, so I'm guessing that's Olya. The corners of the room bent and undulated. The only stable thing in the whole room was the figure between the windowsill and the curtains. A flimsy piece of cloth was stuck to my hidden visitor. It reminded me of burial sheets. Olya? Still licked my dried lips. Yeah, Olya. So funny. Silhouette was unmoving. It was enveloped softly by curtains. As if there was a thick layer of darkness there, not a human being. I reached toward the curtains. Budum, budum, beat my heart, controlled by medication. The wind sang in the field with a chorus of voices. For a second I wanted to return to the bed, just lie down and watch the person behind the curtain, knowing full well they were looking back at me. Looking without blinking, waiting for me to fall asleep. Plastic rings rustled against the holder when I pulled open the curtains. Hey, I knew it. Gotcha. I knew it was you from the beginning. A blinding bright halo lit up above Olya's head with the setting sun. Aww. It's the background. My sister was shining. She was just a baby. Dad always used to say she was shining with happiness. I always retorted, but Dad, she's not some flashlight. But I brought her to the window one day and sunlight poured on her smiling face. I felt like I was holding a light, woven child. I saw everything. Oh, really? Where'd you hide? She's just like my mom when she was little, before she put on her sad mask of tiredness and switched to her commanding tone of voice. It's nothing, just... Olya ran up to the table, her eyes round, and asked, "You stole something and hid there. Are you a thief?" Well, don't be stupid. I didn't steal anything. A clear image came to mind, that mitten hanging from a tree branch. Oh! Did someone sleep on the same note on the piano? What if I did steal it after all, from the forest, from the tilted figure standing behind black trees? Olya could be selfish and stubborn when she wanted. Then show me! Swear that you won't tell anyone, then I'll show you. Olya wore a plotting smile. I swear on Mom's heart. An oath she heard. Jesus. An oath she heard in one of the movies about the pioneers we've watched. Pioneers? Umbrella term for communist children organizations existing around the world, somewhat reminiscent of the Scout movement. Don't say things like that. Olya nodded and made a gesture with her hand, locking her mouth with an imaginary key. She was filled with curiosity that was splashing in her giant eyes. I opened the drawer and Olya leaned in, holding her breath. It looked like there was not just a simple mitten, but some sort of exotic critter. Is this someone's mitten? She said that as if she couldn't understand what she saw. A certain boy lost it and got lost himself. Now you do understand how dangerous it is for kids to wander in the forest, right? Yep. He must be really cold out there. Will they find him? They will. The police are going to house, showing his photo to everybody. Olya traversed the room with care and pressed her tiny palms against the window. And why are they going to the houses and not the forest? Are they scared? The question caught me off guard. Police aren't scared of anything. Oh my god. They've already scouted the forest. Yeah, right, flashed in my clouded mind. Did they really check every nook and cranny where darkness, cold, and whispers of icy branches dwell? If that's the case, how did they miss the mitten? Or did it appear later for me? I changed the topic. As if trying to get Olya as far away as possible from the forest thicket. Yes, I am Meepy. as if trying to get... Okay. We may get a reward if I go and find this boy myself. A lot of stuff, like in the Wheel of Fortune. Sounds cool, right? Olya wasn't listening to me. She was piercing the forest with incredibly adult eyes, uncharacteristic for her. What if the owl got him? Nonsense. An owl wouldn't be able to lift a human. But you know what? I was picking my words with utmost care. I forced them out of my overexerted brain. Stay away from the forest. I think it's... How should I put it? It's cursed or something. Just like in a fairy tale? More like that spooky tape our parents hide from us. Oh. Oya shivered and stole a glance at the window. I saw you running away. Someone was chasing you? No, it's just I was hurrying back home so Mom won't be worried. As I looked at my sister, my heart was tearing apart. She was so fragile. It was so easy to stifle her light. Please, please don't kill the sister. I swear if the sister dies in this game, I'm going to be really upset. A gust of wind and her small fire would be gone. Be lucky. Mom won't even let me go outside. I'm like a princess in the tower. Can't go anywhere. I'll die from boredom. Oh, God. It's better than dying from a werewolf or an owl. No one has ever died of boredom. And you have me and your cartoons, and Mom and Dad will be good to each other soon. You know what I wish? You know what I would wish for on my next birthday? I wish for Mom and Dad to turn into children so we could go and play together like we used to. Aww. Yeah, and if you'd make them as small as bugs, we could place them into a little box. Leia giggled and tugged at my sleeve. Let's go watch Aladdin. Fatigue went over my desire to be with my little sister. I was washed over by some sort of heinous apathy. Too tired, I don't wanna. Come on. It's so boring alone and Mom is always busy. We can pick a cartoon you haven't seen before. I know all of her tapes by heart at this point. Not all of them. You haven't watched Peter Pan. Remember how you fell asleep in the middle of it? So much happens after that. Let's go. Maybe a bit later. Should I tell you how it ends? Let's leave that for tomorrow. I won't tell you tomorrow. I know. Let's play hide and seek. No, Oya. Then draw me a dino. Oya, please. Draw it. Draw it. Leave me alone already. Aww. I blurted it out without thinking, and then I was immediately taken aback. I've never screamed at my little sister like that. Oya stared at me in shock. Her lip... Oh. Okay, I didn't read that. My chest was seething with disgust and embarrassment. What's happening to me? I hurried to prevent Oya from crying. Alright, you win. Let's go watch cartoons for a bit. I don't wanna. Came up to her, put my hand on her soft head. Let's go. Watch Peter Pan. Boo, you'll fall asleep again. If there are multiple endings, the sister's definitely gonna die. Aww. Don't tell me that. I smiled and lifted her chin. Her eyes were wet and felt bottomless. I promise I won't, and I'll draw you a full triceratops later. Hell yeah. Hooray! Triceratops. Well, close enough. Oya rubbed her eyes with the sleeve of her pajamas and a shining smile returned to her face. I'll go ask Mom for condensed milk and bread and you rewind the tape. The bread is fresh, just how you like it. Alright, just be careful not to spill the milk, or you'll be yelled at again. Wanna bet I won't spill it? The tape is somewhere in the nightstand, go look for it. Oya disappeared into the doorway and I dragged my feet into the neighboring room. Hi. Piggy bank. Oya is saving money for a real puppy because Dad said that taking care of him will take a lot of money. A scary window where Oya sees that accursed owl every night, lurking in the dark. Oya keeps curtains open during the day, but as soon as the twilight comes, she shuts them tight so she won't see the pair of hungry eyes outside. Anything else I can... What the... Excuse me? Oya has countless toys. An old teddy bear is the main attraction. Oya doesn't sleep without it. And she digs her nose into its fur when she sleeps. Is that like the Freddy Fazbear honk? Okay. The old photon TV was gathering dust in the corner. All that was left was clicking the button on the front panel. The tube warmed up and a familiar white noise started dancing on the black screen. I almost reached out to turn on the VCR when the noise calmed down and a blurry image appeared for a moment. Oh! Oh no. It was a dark taiga forest, just like the one outside my window. The picture split the screen in half. Something creepy resembling human speech was coming out of the speaker. Just a few moments later, the scenery was again overshadowed by noise. Did they catch a rogue signal? Local TV station only really showed Soviet cartoons, and even that was pretty rare. When did it become the Ring? I don't know. So awesome. Maybe I should tinker with the antenna. What if I catch this channel again? On the other hand, Oya asked me to find the tape. It wouldn't be nice to disappoint her. But in a sleepy state, I didn't have the strength to do all of it. This is also probably important. I'm gonna search for it for now. I sifted through the shelves full of dolls and blue hippos from Kinder Surprise. Found the tape I needed thanks to its shabby spine. Got the black rectangle from its box. The tape inside it rustled while rewinding from the beginning. This rustle was lulling me to sleep. Drowsiness attacked me while squatting before the TV. Images rolled in my head, me and Oya flying above the forest, tumbling in the soft clouds. My little sister's laughing, but her smile becomes more and more forced with every passing second. I noticed that the clouds underneath us part, burying the bristly pine tops. Swampy darkness slurped among the trees. The wings are no longer able to hold us. And Oya, you haven't started without me, have you? The sister brought the tray with unevenly cut bread and a whole can of condensed milk. A whole can? I rubbed my eyes. No, come sit. Mom and Dad are arguing. Aww. Aww. We're going through rough times. Rough times are lame. Yeah, real. They are lame. On the screen, Wendy was hiding Peter Pan's shadow in the dresser, and Oya was entertained by the cartoonish dog Nana. Maybe Mom and Dad will buy us a dog too. Yeah, right. I'll have my own dog in a Neverland, and a cat, and a parrot. Oya smeared a slice of bread with a thick layer of condensed milk and handed it to me. Have you lost all your baby teeth? Obviously. Oya frowned deep in thought. Peter Pan has baby teeth. What if they won't let you go to his land with adult teeth? We'll think of something. We'll ask Dad to alter your age in the passport. And why would Dad forge documents? Oya took a bite from the sandwich and started talking with her mouth full. He will. I heard Mom that he did that before. He'll grow ears as big as Dumbo's. Oya got worried and touched her ear. I smiled to myself. My little sister was silent now. She just devoured bread, watching the adventures of Peter Pan, Tinkerbell, and James Hook. As if she got sucked into the fairy tale Neverland. To be honest, I also imagined myself there in a land where one never ages, where no one argues over little things, where no one listens to fights, and the sound of broken plates at night. I felt like I was dreaming with my eyes still open. Then my sister's scream pulled me back to reality. Shut the curtains, fast! Why? No one's watching you. It's dark, and when it's dark, the owl comes. I'm scared. Got out of bed, fighting my drowsiness, and closed the curtains. I did my best to not look outside toward the treetops, toward the taiga forest, which seemingly drew closer and closer. Of course, it was just a visual effect from shadows of branches scraping the snow. Tosha, Mom thinks I made the owl up, and Dad too thinks I'm a liar since I'm small. But the owl exists. Honestly, it does. You do believe me, right? That it comes every night? I swiftly grabbed Olia's hand and looked her in the eyes. I was trying to transfer at least some of my courage and determination. But did I really have those qualities? Yes, I believe you, alright? Just don't nag our parents about it anymore. They're already dealing with a lot, so they'll just get mad at you. Come and tell me if anything happens. And don't look out the window. But it wants me to look. Doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist and never existed, like it's made up, just like Mom and Dad say. It'll get tired of waiting and fly away. Okay. We followed Peter Pan's adventures as if nothing had happened, as if the forest didn't kidnap kids. Captain Hook was running away from a crocodile, and Captain Pan was headed to London on a gilded sailboat. By some miracle, I lasted longer than my little sister. Oya's eyelids had dropped. She started snoring slightly, resting her chin on the side of her head. I stood up and left Oya's room. I was looking out the window, studying the field, when Mom peeked into my room. Oh, hi. Enough playing around. It's your first day of school tomorrow. Go to bed. You should sleep properly. You don't want to be teased for being sleepy, right? If that's the worst you get, then that's not bad. Adults think everything is so simple, as if sound sleep would ensure my classmates would like me. Cover myself with a blanket up to my neck and listen to the house humming, to something invisible rustling in the corners. My inner voice had a question for me. Do I want to hear that mysterious flute again? Yes or no? Maybe it's just a part of growing up and I can't fully understand my own desires. A force wailed behind the barrier that was my walls. Some ethereal entity wandered the fields. Branches shook as if calling for me. The wind howled on and on in the night. My thoughts were like annoying flies that entered my head before becoming weak and tangled. I didn't notice how I fell into slumber. It has come, after all. The day I feared the most. First day of new school term. Episode 2. Time to play with you. Okay. So that was episode 1. I'll be right back. I'll save this real quick. I will be right back, chat. I'm just gonna use the bathroom and refill my water bottle. I'll be right back. Behave yourselves. are back. Let me throw that desktop audio back on. Perfect, perfect. Everything looks like it's all good, so let's, oh, hang on. I need to clean my glasses a little bit. There we go. Marginally better. Mostly. Mostly. Alright. Let's jump right back into Tiny Bunny. Episode 2. Time to play with you. Oh, yeah, I should probably save here. New school, new teachers, and most importantly, new classmates who I always have trouble connecting with. Like most other kids with glasses, probably. I forced myself to get out of my warm bed. My dad would usually drive me to my old school, but this morning the bedroom of my parents was silent. Did they sleep in? Maybe it was a good thing. I didn't want to get the daddy's boy reputation from day one. My parents were probably still tucked in, dreaming about the good old days when everything was so simple and easy. Sweet dreams, even if far removed from reality. I silently sneaked out to the first floor so I wouldn't wake up anybody, especially the peacefully sleeping Olya. I did my best to step on the middle of every floorboard. I used to play like this even in our old apartment. If my soles touched the space between the floorboards, it counted as stepping into lava! The clock was spurring me on with its hands. I need to hurry. Faster, faster. I was too fast, so I needed to circle the hallway once again. Boiling lava was bursting out of the cracks between the floorboards. I needed to watch my step to survive at any cost. Hippity hopped like a frog jumping on molehills, like a fearful bunny in a grove full of wolves. I made a sandwich in the kitchen. That's a noise. Shoved it down my throat and drank it down with cold tea. My appetite was as good as someone being led up the scaffold toward a guillotine. I lowered my gaze and saw that one of my feet was standing on two floorboards at the same time. Burnt to a crisp, huh? I moved my foot. Disgusting little snakes writhed in my belly, the fear of getting hit and being called nasty names. Closet clicked. I need to go. It was dark outside, fitting for an early winter morning. This darkness never fully left the houses around here. I took my time tying my shoes, buttoning up the puffy down jacket, trying to delay my unpleasant exit into the semi-dark, into the unnerving unknown. I rubbed my glasses for good luck, though I couldn't remember a single time these thick pieces of glass brought me any good fortune. Oh God, do not go out there. The sky was akin to a giant bruise. On the east side, a black cloud was swelling up. It licked up stars from the sky and extinguished the rising sun. Darkness was plastered all over the treetops. Oh, Jesus. And the cautious cries of birds got tangled up in the thicket. I locked the front door with the long key that I wore around my neck. My parents made me wear this noose, afraid that I, being a total klutz, could lose the key otherwise. I heard footsteps. The wind whizzed on the other side of the gate and invited me into my new life toward dubious adventures, and tagged alone like an old... I think they meant tagged along. Like an old buddy pushing me in the back. While wide shadows that pines threw out covered a third of the clearing. But upon reaching the edge of the forest, I hid my nose in the coat's collar. Squeezing through the thin... I hear the flute again. Tall trees stood on both sides of the tiny trail. The snowy blanket rustled under my feet, and the canopy of intertwined branches above my head cut me off from the already sparse starlight. The night had no plans of moving away from the forest. In this darkness, trees reminded me of shaggy old women that smelled of burial earth. Their trunks turned into cracked, wrinkled faces with holes in the middle as their mouths. If I lost focus for even a moment, mold-covered witches would drag me into the forest depths. Then my parents would be walking around these parts screaming my name. But the dead can't answer the living. Oh God, hi. Or can they? Ooh. A sense of panic was growing in my chest. I was fine with Dad... Why did the music stop? I was fine with Dad carrying me into the school in his hands by now if it saved me from watching the darkness rise up in the ravines like black dough. I felt like someone jumped into the bushes behind me, so I turned around. As soon as I started walking faster, I heard the snow squeak behind me. The forest took a deep breath with its giant lungs. The windfall cracked. The wind and the birds were left behind in the field. Now I could only hear the forest creak. I walked, listening closely, and the unseen presence grew stronger. As if someone was following me, trying to match the pace of my footsteps. I turned my head so fast it made my neck crunch. A tiny shrub behind me disappeared into the darkness. Tree branches overlapped, forming a natural tunnel. Who's there? The question escaped my lips and dissolved into the unending creaking sound of the wooden idols, the pines around me. Why did I think going through the forest was a good idea? I'm either going mad, or someone had intentionally lured me away from home. Distant lights granted me a smidgen of hope. A country road! Country roads, take me home. I ran there as fast as I could, as if afraid that the trail will shrink. Clawed hands will grip me by the shoulders, turn me around and make me look at the faces of hungry forest denizens. In the end, nobody stopped me. I almost flew to the decrepit wooden bridge, disbelieving my luck. The bridge's supports bathed in the spring, tarry and ice cold. I put my hands on my knees and looked up at the forest, then snorted, trying to calm my breathing. The thicket was pretending to be asleep. It looked peaceful, lifeless. The remaining part of my commute lied through a snow-laden road illuminated by sparse lamplights. This is nice. This is peaceful. I chased away bad thoughts and ran as fast as I could from one circle of light to another, seeking protection from electric lamps. Just like in that game where you need to be the first to proclaim, I'm protected. Oh, is this another Russian thing? Tag. What? In certain zones normally called the ghoul, players can stay safe from tagging. Okay. It's just in this case that protection was flimsy at best, with darkness writhing outside its bounds. Ooh! Oh, God. In the place where the light from an incline lamp couldn't reach, a hairy, crooked shadow came alive with a guttural roar. Hi? Almost felt like its features deterred light. Its unnatural pose instilled fear. My eyes almost popped out of their sockets as if I just stood there blinking, trying to chase away that illusion. Oh! Hi, how are you? But the shadow didn't disappear and even got closer. My insides were gripped by horror. I stepped back and almost fell into a snow pile. Black silhouette, on the other hand, straightened up and addressed me in a sweet voice. Sneaking around, huh? Trying to steal my soul? Words got stuck in my throat. Who could be talking in such a silky voice between the forest and the dormant village? Will you say something, dummy? The cat got your tongue? Alright, I'll bite off your nose then. That'll teach you not to poke in places it doesn't belong. A girl stood before me, judging from the voice and the silhouette. But I couldn't even reprimand myself for getting scared by a girl before noticing a gaping mouth under her hood with something dangerously shiny inside. What? I was stunned. Oh! Oh. A frighteningly real fox face was staring back at me. It's just her jaws weren't moving and her eyes weren't blinking. A mask. It's just a girl with a fox mask on. At least I wanted to think that. After a surprise like that, a nervous smile involuntarily crept onto my face. I was just going to school and then you... What about me? Never seen a fox feed a dog? Aww. Oh, little puppy. There was a small dog circling the girl's legs, one of the strays that were chasing me yesterday, probably. Sorry, I didn't mean to. After hearing my voice, the dog whimpered, lowering its ears, sniffed me out, and then started wagging its tail. I guess it smelled bologna that I ate for breakfast. I was shifting my gaze back and forth from the dog to the girl. She didn't seem scary, just weird. So you didn't mean to, huh? What's your name? I'm Anton. And you? And I'm not! Hee 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 hee. She's weird, definitely has a couple loose screws. She has a nice voice. My astonishment turned into a mix of happiness and relief. This girl I didn't know was definitely human, if a bit eccentric. A fox helping a dog, that's a first, right? I was also a bit angry at myself. This foxy girl was walking through the darkness without a problem, and I shuddered from every little sound. I could just walk away, but this girl had piqued my interest. The next time a police officer asks me about my friends at the new place, I'll tell him that I befriended a talking fox. You live around here? In the village? The fox girl giggled and purred. She spun around so hard the hem of her coat lifted up. No, dummy. Foxes don't live in villages. They live in the forest. Have you been living under a rock? It's obvious that foxes can't survive anywhere near humans. As long as they're foxes. Her jokes were also weird. Just like her carnival mask, paper mache with fur glued onto it. Aww. The dog reminded us of its existence with a loud bark. I unfastened my backpack. Dad would sometimes throw food in there without my knowledge. Cookies, apples, or even my favorite crab sticks. He called it a gift from the bunny. What? The uneaten part of a business lunch or a treat is specifically bought for children. Parents would tell their children that a bunny asked them to deliver said treat, but it could also be any other animal, a squirrel or a bear, for example. The stray strolled toward me with mincing footsteps with a pleading look in its eyes. The fox did definitely treat it to something, but it was probably still hungry. Why are you dressed like this so early in the morning? Going to a costume party? The girl shrugged, throwing silvery snowflakes off her nose, and her human form along with them, turning into a genuine beast. Agile, cunning, dangerous. Whoa! Moment of hesitation, you'll be ripped to shreds. She'll tear you up and gulp you down without breaking a sweat. Couldn't help but just stand there as a stump. That doesn't sound like normal laughter. Until I heard her calm, melodic laughter hidden underneath the beastly mask. I wish you could have seen your own mask. I wish you could have seen your own mask, sweetie. Did you say sweetie? I got embarrassed when I read up my hair roots. We seen a fox in a zoo once. We went there with Dad, but it had patchy fur. It was gray and skinny. This girl was a fiery colored and furry, just like fairy tales. I was still rummaging through my backpack. My fingers that were searching for the dog's treat stumbled upon some soft, crumpled object. You'll see. The real beasts will wake up soon. You should ask them where they got their human faces. The girl's shadow was dancing in the lamp's light. The dog yapped in agreement. I freaked out and dropped my finding in the snow without getting a proper chance to examine it. Is it the mitten? I was still dark outside of the electric circle. On the contrary, the darkness seemed even more thick. All neighboring houses were sleeping deeply in its inkiness. I did my best to continue the conversation with the weird girl I didn't know. So are you going to school? Oh my, you are a real dummy. Don't you get it? Well, I was trying to be friendly, but she can't stop mocking me. Calling me a dummy and all. I should have just moved along without paying any attention to this weirdo and this stupid dog. Why are you so mean? Don't answer if you don't want to. It's not like I care. Still, something froze me in place and tugged me toward the dark figure. A mysterious appearance, her voice that was velvety and just languid enough. I was intrigued and excited. I watched her as people watch fires burn. Oh, stop pouting. Look there. Zulka took a liking to you. The dog was digging through snow with sharp movements, snoring loudly. The fox turned around and looked at the windows of a nearby house at its timbered front through the white mist. The tip of her fake nose was shining under the lamp's light. And maybe someone else, too. I went red again like a boiled crawfish. Is she talking about herself or someone else? I hoped that the semi-dark would be able to hide my embarrassment from the girl. I cleared my throat before asking, and who's that person? I waited, counting my heartbeat. The fox didn't reply. Her sly stare was scanning the frosty patterns of someone's windows. She was reading them like a glass book. I wonder what she can see through those winter paintings. Oh, yeah, it was the man. The stray stopped rummaging through the snow. It ran to me holding my object in her jaws. A mitten. Could it be the one I found in the forest? What's it doing here? I realized it was just my mitten. Maybe Mom stuffed it in there when I was asleep. A certain missing boy immediately came to mind. Hey, do you know anything about Vova? I imagined the scene, silhouettes dancing in the clearing. Ooh. The dance on the night when Vova had disappeared. A boy who, when found, can provide a big reward and maybe save my family. I remembered my birthday when our parents promised to take me and Oya to Disneyland in Paris. Aww. But instead of a long-anticipated gift, they gave me a simple brick game console, visibly embarrassed. I was crying my eyes out back then, demanding to take me to the promised amusement park. That was the first time when Mom and Dad had a big fight. My greediness shattered their relationship. If only I could fix everything, gather everybody I love and take them to Disneyland. On the night Vova disappeared, I think I saw someone looking like you dancing under my window. Oh! Couldn't be true, but I felt like her mask became even more sly. The fox was sniffing me out. Oh, that got you worried? For yourself or for someone else? Oh yeah. As soon as I thought about my sister, my chest tightened and cold sweat streamed down my spine. Listen closely, a boy named Anton. This is a big and scary forest. And I'm not its only tenant. Uh-oh. The other beasts already know about you. Beware, we'll come again tonight. I shouldn't have talked to this evil in child form, I thought, panicking. When you and your parents will be fast asleep, we'll sneak really close and dance. Macarena? Huh? Hey, Macarena! He's just like, what? Look at you, your mouth is agape. He saw me near his window at night. Yeah, right. Are you by any chance a dimwit? Nobody will let me go outside that late. Children go missing here, you know. I touched the plastic frame of my glasses, puzzled by her silly joke. She got me scared to death. Hey, why don't you stop fondling your glasses? I was also nearsighted once. Listen to me and maybe you'll become smarter. Remember what did they call foxes? Cunning? My words seemed to hurt her. Hey, what did you... Her laughter was akin to the jingle of a pair of silver bells. Just pulling your leg. Of course we're cunning. If you're agile and brave enough to befriend a cunning fox, I'll help look for your Vova. There's a reason why you're doing it, right? I struggled in reply. Her insight was alarming. I know why children have been swarming our forest recently. Sometimes you can find a lot of interesting stuff in there. One day I saw a huge pile of candy and I swam in it until my jaws cramped. I couldn't deduce whether she believed in what she was saying from the tone of her voice. I showed her another smile, a fake one this time. Boo, so wary. Well, what do you say to this then? Ooh. She held out her hand in a furry mitten. There was an assortment of sweets in her palm. In the city where I used to live, sweets like these were sold at markets or in kiosks. I saw my favorite bubblegum in a vivid wrapper among the tasty treasure. Familiar name on it, Turbo. Triangular fox face poked her nose toward me. Take some. My pockets are full of these. I'm gonna save here. I'll take these. Sure. I accepted the treat and catching a whiff of the girl's smell, fur, fireworks, and citrus, the smell of holidays. My fingers tingled while I carefully unwrapped the gum. Peachy aroma entered my nostrils and something unfamiliar but pleasant. A fruity cube ended up in my mouth. I started moving my molars, chewing the gum. It tasted like your usual Turkish gum, only my tongue went a bit numb. What? That's creepy. That's friggin' creepy. I couldn't believe my luck after opening the insert. Ooh. I looked at a Mercedes-Benz, an extremely rare and hence desirable collector's item for any boy from my previous neighborhood. My heart skipped a beat. I was barely able to tear my eyes off the insert, still stunned. Now do you see what can be found in the forest? What is that, just a little, picture? Still, I wouldn't go there alone if I were you. You'll get so flustered over simple bubblegum after all. Imagine what would happen if you find a travel case worth of these. It'll surely blow your mind. Unusual treats, just like everything else about her. I carefully hid the insert in my bag as if I was putting a rare butterfly in a can. The fox giggled. This is not how things are supposed to go on a Monday morning. Who are you? I refrained from asking that question. She wouldn't answer anyway, or she'll just lie. I really wanted to see what's behind her mask. I was becoming more and more sure that underneath it wasn't just a simple young girl. What if Vova also found a snow pile with sweets and is now rolling in it? Actually, what if he decided to stay in the forest? He must be so cold with his second mitten. The wind caught her words like smoke from a fire and carried them deep into the darkness, into the creepy thicket. The trees behind me creaked with their bony branches. Or what if something happened to him along the way? Oh god. Something terrible. The forest reacted to her words. It became alive. It sniffed me out, perking up its ears just like a curious beast. The fox girl pierced me with her eyes again. Wild beasts? You find that scary? Well, I don't know. He doesn't know. Oh my, have I befriended a dunce? I didn't like being called a dunce, yet being friends with her sounded nice. My grades are good. Really now? Will you come with me? Good grades, Anton? We'll find your Vova and you'll be able to ask him what he found deep in the forest. As long as you're with me, nothing can hurt you in the forest. You'll see. Worms of worry writhed in my belly. Better run, whispered my mind. I don't believe you. Do you take me for a liar? Whatever, you're just like everybody else. The girl sounded hurt, although I didn't know if she was genuine about it. Turned around as if she had immediately lost all interest in me. The gum felt bitter now. I remembered my dad's favorite saying, "Where are your manners, son?" Indeed, this fox was kind to me. Please don't get mad. Foxes can also be nice. Like in the fairy tales. I just need to know what kind of fox you are. The girl giggled, hiding the nose of her mask in her hands. And follow me into the forest and you'll get to know me. But not right now, when it gets right. I mean, your whole body is shaking, you poor thing. I don't want you to get a stroke. Hey, let me accompany you to school. The dog barked in agreement and stopped messing with the mitten. I leaned in trying to grab the piece of handwear that almost ran away from me. What if we're going in the same direction? We went toward the school and the lost dawn. Here and there the lights came on in the windows of houses we passed as if their inhabitants were sending us warning signs. Silhouettes lurked behind curtains, dogs let out on occasional barks. Spirals of gray smoke rose from chimneys, TVs bustled and dishes clanged in kitchens. We watched the village slowly rise from its slumber while carefully treading the snowy wheel trails. I walked in the left one, and she took the right one. The dog was following right behind us. I expected the fox to bring up something weird again, but she stayed silent. All the way to the school, as if playing with me some game only she was privy to. She would only giggle from time to time when the dog sneezed from the snowflakes that fell on its nose. I was the first to break the silence. So what's your name? Here it comes. Names, names, names. You people always need to put labels on everything. What name would you give to a fox like me? I don't know, but I read about Elisa the fox. You know what? I don't mind. I'll be Elisa. I couldn't understand if she was joking or not. I turned around and looking for an answer from the dog from the dark sky devoid of dawn. My silent questions were left unanswered. The school's outline was already in our sight. A giant brick box stuck in the endless night. Lights in its windows didn't bode well for me. The warden trees were guarding the schoolyard. Screams, childish laughter, and someone's whistling tore up the silence. I went here with my mom when we just moved and the place looked cozy at the time. Empty corridors that smelled of polished, puffy snow outside. The second time I came alone to get the books and just kept on imagining my peers rolling down the railings, grade schoolers running to the library, and teachers marching down the corridor with the air of self-importance around them. High schoolers were smoking at the entrance in track pants and wool caps, perched on their foreheads. Their appearance destroyed the last hopes of a cozy school. Their stingy eyes and the teeth, yellow from nicotine, their smirks, all of it had the same gloomy effect as the cloudy winter morning. Absorbed by my thoughts, I completely forgot about my companion. I'll wait for you at the backyard after school. Near the hanged man. Near what? She just ignored my question. Don't be late. I hesitated. Blowing hot and cold again, Mom always said that when I would have trouble choosing between the two options. Thinking about Mom helped me reply. I'm going straight home after school. Well, Antosha, I'm going to let you off the hook. But the others will creep up to you with their smiles and sink their teeth into you. Won't be able to shake them off as easily. Remember my words. That's not a mask. That's a fox. What kind of trick is this? Someone running in the distance called out my name. Instinctively turned around. No! Huge snowball whizzed past my shoulder and hit the dog. It whimpered and ran toward the spring. Aww, poor puppy. Hi, Matt. Sorry about your week. I'm doing okay. I'm playing a horror game. The fox girl was also nowhere to be seen. She dissolved into frosty air. Or was she hiding in my shadow? I gulped and swallowed the gum. Unlucky. After taking a deep breath, I went toward the school, toward the cutlets in dough, toward the light raining down onto the snow. Oh yeah, she's 100% a cryptid. Enter. Do I have other options? Whose nest is this? A thieving magpie? Then it probably has all sorts of shiny things on it. A tall man was standing near the gate, puffing out clouds of smoke into the wind. He didn't look like a teacher. Was he a PE guy, maybe? Carefully studied his face that looked like it was cut from a piece of granite and his hair lip that was holding down a cigarette. He's playing around with car keys and staring back at us. The light from the cigarette was reflected in his eyes that were sitting deep in his eye sockets. I froze in place. The hulking man lazily tore off his eyes from us and walked toward the road. Okay. Oh, wait, there's more. There was a fresh-looking Volga? Parked nearby with one of its front wheels perched up on the icy curb. Black like soot, as if it was straight out of the horror story Dad loved to tell me when we hid in the attic during a thunderstorm. I remember him always wearing a sad smile when mentioning the black car that snatched children. He would say, "It looks like a funeral car on the inside, white curtains and all. And it has DSC in its license plate." Do you know what that means? Death to Soviet children. Jesus Christ. Funny, I was born in the USSR too. A buzzing crowd of upperclassmen with their winter hats tipped to the side. I better not draw their attention. Is there anything else? No? Okay, cool. It's time to go to school! No, I don't think that's the cop from earlier. I could hear muffled voices behind the door, saw blinking lamps, darkness creep along the windows, and it felt like the school was drifting in open space like a lonely lost spaceship. After going up to the second floor, I noticed a crowd around the notice board. Everyone was taking part in a lively discussion. I moved closer and looked at something everyone was interested in through a wall of backpacks. There was a piece of paper with something printed on it glued to the left of the notice board. Jeez. Left his home on January the 5th, around 1600. Never returned. Was last seen on the bridge over the Smordina River. An orange coat with a hood, a black wool cap, a scarf, and mittens with green stripes. Might have had a plastic toy gun on him. Features 142 centimeters tall, skinny, brown hair and green eyes. Vova Matyukin? That was his name. A 4th grader. On that grainy print, Vova looked dead with a black mouth and dark, empty eye sockets. Could it be that the darkness dwelling deep in the forest invaded his pores and mutilated his face? Jesus Christ. A plastic toy gun couldn't protect him from the whispering branches and the howling wind. Empty eyes of the lost boy pierced through my soul as if pleading. Unable to meet his stare, I turned around and rushed to the window, took a seat on the windowsill. The corridor was slowly filling up with children in groups of few. Nobody paid me any mind. In the darkness of school toilets, child voices were hammering a nursery rhyme. For the fox and for the bear, bunny tasty meals prepare. Yeah, Matt, I hope you're doing okay, bud. I turned my head towards them, trying to get a better look at their features, but then my attention was stolen by a loud clicking sound. A female teacher marched down the corridor with her chin raised up high. Her heels were hitting the floor like miniature hooves. A girl was trailing her every step. She was also looking pompous, stopping along the way and whispering some secret in her friend's ear. She was probably a class rep since she was carrying an attendance register book. Ekaterina, take this, please. The teacher opened the classroom door and the crowd of children swarmed in, screaming and pushing. Out of all of them, a tall redhead fat boy caught my attention. His face was full of blisters. He looked like the inside of a pomegranate. Bad feeling rose up the hair on the back of my head. I've seen boys like him before, unsettled eyes, cackling laughter. The girl, who was a smaller copy of the teacher, warned the boy with a wave of her hand and entered the room through the clearing in the crowd. Some other guy stood in the way of the crowd, and the redhead immediately shoved him. Move your legs, moron. The boy flew headfirst, flailing his hands, trying to keep his balance. The fatso burst out laughing, and a couple of kids joined his nasty cat. God, he looks gross. He wore a beehive as a hat? I know, right? Their laughter sounded like someone was snipping with huge garden scissors. The classroom sucked all the kids in. The corridor stood empty. I wanted to grow roots and stay on the windowsill. Oh, speaking of which, just a handful of lampposts outside were battling the darkness, writhing like fluorescent fish in the black ocean. Maybe I can still run away? Go outside, dissolve in the dark. I imagine myself running through snow, how it squeaks under my boots. Now I'm becoming lighter and lighter with every step. Oh, God. Hi. The ringer's trill blew that illusion away. How is it still dark outside and it's, like, supposed to be morning? I tore myself from the window with a great effort. Then took a couple deep breaths, trying to at least calm down my mad pulse, and entered the classroom. Okay. The prim teacher looked at me over the frame of her glasses, clearly annoyed. I'm the transfer student. I was told to come here. The snowy forest trail was winding in front of my eyes. The pines rustled, but it didn't sound predatory anymore. She buried herself in the register and flicked through the pages. Your last name? Petrov. Huh? What are you mumbling there? Say it clearly. Petrov. You're not on the list. She measured me with a long and heavy stare, as if trying to see if I was lying. I wanted to sink through the floor. Hazy faces observed all of that from the left. The classroom breathed and snorted in unison, like a living organism, like a dangerous beast. Are you sure? I don't have you in my register. My knees chose the worst time to start shaking, and I felt dizzy. I clutched my fist so hard my knuckles became white. They told me to come to the classroom 204 to ask for Lila Pavlovna, class 6C. They were all laughing. What's wrong with this school? Why do we hire so many interns? They all know how to put lipstick all over their bulging lips, but when it comes to real problems, I have to solve everything. How did they send you here without any proper paperwork? Ugh, we've had the same thing happen so many times already. Wait here, I'll be back. After I have a little chat with them. Teacher flew past me, mumbling something to herself in righteous anger, and I was left standing at the center of the classroom. Like a convict in front of a firing squad, I lowered my gaze, feeling the mocking stares from all around the classroom directed at me. They prickled my skin, danced on it like laser sights. Oh, hello. Oh. Once again, I imagined running up far away from this place, fighting the clawing wind, soaring high above the pines in one long jump, with the wind in my back as my only companion. The eyes of my future classmates were asking, this new boy, is he one of us or is he an outsider? Somebody whispered something and stifled laughter rolled through the classroom. Wipe the board! It's easy to guess who is the main prankster here. Hey, Four Eyes! Oh, God. Are you not only blind, but also deaf? I said wipe the board. My knees weren't the only shaking part of my body anymore. I was trembling from head to toe, and I prayed for the teacher to come back sooner. There she is. And what should I do with you now? Where will you sit? Well, you can sit with Semyon, I guess. He's alone anyway. No way. The fatso put his backpack on the seat beside him in defiance, scratched his belly, and smirked. You back to your old trick? Should I call your grandma here again? And what she's gonna do? They're near the northern hemisphere, so the moon is constantly out day or night. Oh, okay. Huh. Interesting. Dude, Ty, he does look like Percy. He really does, doesn't he? I'll be the one to do something if she doesn't. Put away your backpack, now. Semyon didn't move a muscle. He started studying the portraits of writers on the wall, looking bored. I needed to do something to resolve this somehow to save myself. I cleared my throat and continued in a stifled voice that sounded nothing like me. I can sit in the last row. I think there's a free seat. Snorted loudly. She looked at me and at Semyon, then back at me. Fine, go there for now. And you... Baburin? I'll have a talk with you later. Come to me after class. We'll be on cleaning duty, got it? Semyon forced out a twisted smile. Juicy pimples were growing on the tip of his nose, ripe for the taking. Ugh. I walked carefully, afraid to stumble and fall, causing another outburst of laughter from everyone. Ty, having a night, dude. See you later. I took my seat at the back at the last table where I was met with a pile of old posters. The outcasts took their seats, and the class was ready to start. Now this is settled. Let's start the class. Gymnasium is traditions of Russian and international literature in Zoshenko's Don't Lie. Look away! Don't look at me. His stare informed me of the coming days, weeks, and months of bullying. Yeah, God, don't look at me like that. I've got my eyes on you, said his watery look. Fucking weirdo. I had already noticed a huge yellow spit stain in my notebook. Oh, lovely. Then at the cafeteria, this Semyon, quote-unquote, accidentally spilled a glass of compote. Is that like coffee? Dessert drink brewed from a mix of dry fruit and berries. Okay. And then he flailed his hands around after exiting the toilet so some of the liquid from his hands would get on me. Just before the final period for today, Semyon pushed me into a buzzing crowd of girls from our class. Oh. Oh. No, not the hand. Oh, God. Ow. I immediately stepped back, dying from embarrassment. I'm sorry, are you alright? Then she suddenly put her hands on her hips. Will you look at him? Groping me in front of everyone. I'll tell my mom. They'll expel you, pervert. There's some sort of sadistic pleasure in her eyes, as if she was a child who was about to put a lit-up match in the chafer bottle. I don't know. I didn't mean to. You pushed me. We all saw that, you know. No blind among us. Among us? Among us? Among us? She stared at my glasses while showing me a creepy smile. I started to fume on the inside, but Semyon's laughter cooled my head. I pushed you? You sure? He swaggered up to me, enveloping me in the smell of sunflower seeds and rotting teeth, and then pushed me to the ground. Jesus! This, huh? What you gonna do now? Bully towered over me. Come on, hit me. Let me see you try. You know what? You know what? I love how it's like... Stood up massaging my temples. Made a mocking face as if asking me wordlessly, and what are you gonna do about it? I looked at his red fist that seemed so big to me at the moment and realized if I said even a single word, I'd get hit. And they'll keep on hitting me until I cry, or maybe even that won't stop them, and nobody was gonna help me. Sorry, I tripped. What a pathetic squeak. You could actually burn up from shame. I would have been reduced to cinders by now. Learn how to walk, blind rat. I lowered my eyes and squeezed past Semyon. He showered me with the smell of decaying teeth. Bye-bye, sucker. Fuck that. I don't like that guy. Fats I let out a loud snort behind my back. My muscles became wooden, and I felt him wiping his hand on my... Ew. Ew. What? I just got an achievement that said you don't know how to stand up for yourself. Excuse me. Well, we're gonna change that. Listen, you... My throat went dry, my lips were moving on their own, and my voice was akin to a stifled squeal. We're waiting. If you ever touch me again... Slowly stuck out a finger and poked my forehead. I did, so what? If you ever do it again... And again. And again. And again. He's poking me with his fingers hard that my head tilted backward. I must not cry. I'll be done for. What will a wimp like you do to me? My vision went blur. My soul's tore off from the floor. I rushed forward and threw a... Whoa! Oh, shit! I was holding his ear and blinking in amazement. Was I the first person to rebel against this absolute rule? Oh! I needed to run, but I was always surrounded by his cronies. Lilia Pavlovna. Petrov just hit Baburin. Semyon's cheeks grew even redder and his pimples even whiter like the heads of larvae, but a smile flashed on his face that was only noticed among his comrades. He got really close to me, the smell of rotten teeth washing over me. You are fucking done. His voice was evil and dangerous, like someone tore off the lid from a kettle with boiling fat. I was waiting to get hit. Counting the thumps of my heart and guessing where his fist will go. The solar plexus, the jaw, the nose. But he just turned around and walked off. A thought, cold and sober and extremely rational, popped up in my head. I'm going to get killed today. I was late to leave the school after class on purpose. Simeon didn't attend the last period, so I was hopeful. What if he decided to dodge the cleaning duty and ran home forgetting all about me? I heaved a sigh of relief like someone on death row whose execution was delayed by a day. But I didn't let myself forget his tone, his vengeful gaze, and his scary, electrified smirk. While the other students were leaving the school, laughing loudly, I was pretending to skim through my books near a window. I was staring outside, nervous. Semyon was nowhere to be found in the front yard or near the school gate. I didn't really believe I was this lucky, so I decided to be extra cautious and stay for some more time in the corridor that was gradually getting less crowded. All of the bustle moved to the first floor. There was a skeleton peeking out of the biology classroom. Some jokester put a cap with the American condor on its head. The sounds of running water were coming from the bathroom. I was the only person left in the whole school. I'm not alone, a sudden thought came to my mind. I remembered the missing boy. His portrait was on the notice board near the schedule. Oh, God. Looking at me and the fact that he's most likely already dead. Hello? Oh? Hi? Black violin case. I noticed a girl from my class was holding it. Oh, hi! Hello? She sat in the first row of the second column. I could swear I caught her looking at me a couple times. And I was sneaking glances at her myself. Sometimes it just feels nice to look at something pretty. In the spring, the sky, or a girl that's not in the crowd that laughs at Semyon's jokes. She wasn't whispering the dirty laundry of other people to Katya. It was just the eyes that were missing, so that's why they... I think it changed a little bit. She spent all the breaks just like me, staying in the classroom or looking in the window or drawing something in her green notebook. Hello. Turned red and pretended I was studying the pattern on the wooden floor. It was cool the way you hit him. Just an accident, almost. I started shoving my books in my backpack to at least put something in my hands. Semyon wasn't like that before. He also transferred here just recently. His grandma told me that it almost felt like he went mad. Even the upperclassmen fear Semyon, didn't you know? You're different. You're brave. Mumbled in reply. Yeah, right. Me, brave? A hero that has been standing around in the hallway to avoid a beating. The girl looked at me with her clear, attentive eyes. Do you live over the river? In that wooden house? Yeah. Must be scary living there. I also have to cross the forest. I wouldn't be able to do that. I shivered at the mention of the forest. I thought of intertwining branches of snake-like trail of endless darkness that spread like mold among the crooked trees. So I straight up lied. It's not that scary. What's scary about it for you? She smiled after a brief pause. As if brushing off a daydream. Well, actually, never mind. My name is Polina, by the way. And I'm Anton. I already know that. Hey, Anton. She stumbles as if trying to decide whether she should continue. What are you doing after school? My chest felt prickly after her innocent question, yet somehow it felt pleasant. Nothing much. I stumbled and didn't finish my sentence. Aww, he's in love. He's in love. He's in love. Oh. 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 Elisa's predatory smile flashed in front of my eyes. Her playful eyes in the slits of the mask were probably just a product of my imagination, though. What if the fox girl is waiting for me after the school, or was it another one of her weird jokes? What if she's hiding a big red tail under her coat? I suddenly got covered with beads of sweat like after PE class. I wanted to take a shower as if just thinking of the fox girl made me dirty, soiled my clothes, lured me into the forest embrace. Okay. I have a violin lesson and then I'll be free. My grandpa hired me a private tutor. Our music teacher is a violinist and he doesn't have anyone to teach here except for me. She waved her free hand in the air, imitating the movement of a bow on violin strings. I could almost hear the music. It chased Elisa out of my head. I looked at Polina's lips, catching her every word, and was frozen from the unusual sensations. They were warm, soothing, and tingly. Oh yeah, he's in love. was about to say before the fox face showed up that I'm calling it that the girl was the fox. Yeah, maybe. They say there's a serial killer on the loose in the village. Normally, Grandpa would escort me home from school, but he's been sick lately. Oh, God. His eye walls, his eye wells were studying me. His lips were wearing black lipstick. Just like the portrait on a gravestone. I mean, I'm not a coward, it's just... I think I'll be safe. I'll be safer with you. Will you go home with me, Anton? There it was. Finally, everything that I read about in the adventure books, everything that I dreamed about was seeping into my life. A mysterious crime, a beautiful stranger, and a heroic duel. A duel. Ugh. Thinking of Semyon instantly sobered me up, returning me back to Earth, and I started shaking under my feet like the deck of a ship. If only I could rise to the occasion in front of Polina. Because no matter how brave I was trying to act, it was obvious for both of us that I wouldn't be able to stand a chance against a big guy like that, and him knocking me out won't even be the worst of it. The worst part is that Polina will see all of that. She'll laugh at me like everyone else. No, I don't need anybody to see me in such a shameful state. I doubt I'll be able to today. You know, Semyon is still waiting for me outside. I need to deal with him one-on-one like a man. Nonsense. Polina was like water when you're thirsty. You gulp it down and still want more. Jesus Christ. I remember the summer evenings at the country house, the fire's pungent smoke, the berries hanging over a fence from the neighbors, and a soft cover of pine needles under my soles. Those few peaceful days when I felt completely safe. My mom resting in the hammock, my dad putting meat on a skewer. Could I have foreseen the upcoming catastrophe in the crackle of the coals, and our parents' laughs, and the smell of the fleeting July? Could I have seen how fragile that world was? Do you really think that Savage will give you a fair fight? He'll just swarm you with his friends without giving you a chance to catch breath. Flash a devious smile, but if we go together, they'll be put off. I'm not only the first violin of this village, I'm also a girl. I've heard from a delinquent I know that he'll never attack someone when there's a girl around. Can you imagine? They have this weird code of honor. A delinquent you know? I thought, worried. Is he better than me? Taller, more handsome? Oh, I have to go to music class. Made a couple of steps and stopped. Amazing. Polina didn't look like those beauties from the magazine posters or the actresses from the movies. But in the flickering light of the ceiling lamp, she looked much more alluring. Oh, God. Can you play anything? Oh, can you play anything? My parents bought me a guitar a couple years ago. I immediately remember my meager attempts at making music. Change while waiting for change. Soy's song echoed my thoughts and my desire to change something. That guitar got lost somewhere as if refusing to move to the old house near the forest. I think my parents gave it away to someone that needed it more. I don't, sadly. A pity. Oh well, I'll be going. Bye. Aww. I hope she doesn't die either. Her shoes also echoed through the school hallways. Bye. I wasn't sure if Polina heard me. I looked at the window again. The schoolyard was empty, just a couple of grade schools throwing snowballs at each other. Nobody who looked like the hulking Semyon with his cronies. This is giving me hope. What should I do? Besides, she may be in real danger of meeting a killer, and I'll be her defender, her knight. And even though my inner voice was hesitant and whispered about running away from the killers lurking in the woods at night, Polina was worth the risk. But the red cunning fox was also intriguing. She promised me to help look for Vova, and this will bring me a reward. More money will almost guarantee peace in my family. Gifts for Olya. I imagine my sister happy like those girls who get prizes from Suponev in the finest hour. She'll be dancing with the famous singers, maybe a new popular boy band like Ivanushki International. These are things I don't know because I'm not Russian. Mom and dad hugging in the Ostankino Pavilion. And all of us going to Disneyland. That's nice. Oh! Wait a minute. Oh. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Okay. So there's a choice here. I actually have a choice. I actually have a choice. Intriguing. Very intriguing. I did not realize I would have a choice here. I think that's where I'm gonna call it. I think that's where I'm gonna call it. I will, yeah. I'm gonna save here. Very interesting. Hang on, I'm just gonna see real quick. I'm just gonna check this out real quick. I'm just gonna check this out real quick. Oh, the hangman, that's... I see you! That's creepy. That's... Come closer, sweet... Oh, God. Hey, whoa! That was like... Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna go much further. We're gonna go here. I'm gonna... Alright, Beast, have a good one. Yeah, okay. That was very good. I enjoyed that. It started off absolutely terrifying, but it actually has, like, a story, which, I mean, it's like a game, so I knew there was gonna be a story, but I didn't know there was gonna be, like, actual, like, holy shit. I don't know what to do with those choices. I don't know, chat. Should I be normal? Or should I hang out with the fox girl? I don't know. I'm gonna, if I can't decide, I'm gonna put a poll up, and we'll figure that out. And if we die a horrible, miserable death, then it's gonna be your fault. Okay. I'm gonna get out of here. I have a few more things to do before I go to bed tonight. But, yeah. Fox Girl is gonna have more lore dumps? Yeah, maybe. We'll figure it out. Okay, yeah, but I don't know, because, like, the violin chick, that, it seems like there's two kind of paths here. There's two kind of, like, branching paths, I guess. One of them is, like, normal, which is, you have, like, the, you know, where you like walk the violinist home, right? That's your like normal one. And then there's like the creepy one, which is I think they're different. I think they're different people, because the eye color is different. I don't think the fox girl is a human with a fox mask. I think it's an actual fox girl. Anyways, but yeah, no, there's like two paths here. So I don't know. I really don't know. I'll think about it, and then we'll figure it out next time. What is tomorrow? Wednesday? So no stream tomorrow. Definitely gonna be stream on Thursday though, and we'll just pick this right back up. But yeah, I will see you guys on Thursday, and I'll talk to you before then. Taking a wild guess, I'm gonna say there's a shapeshifter. Maybe. Yeah. Maybe. Alright. Have a good one, guys. I will see you later. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a great rest of your time zone. Have a good time zone. Alright. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.